Mahama aswafo edunso abe adwuma na mamuom no enne odi tumi ahyom nsa o mo hyedwuma ase
na saa aswafo yi ene o mampani de kokobọ kodi amom so betu kwan obefa first class odi car na momonten so akaka bensem ne ahantan de onsoso so
edom kuma wo mrahye dwam so mo buafu pa sanse ne wo ko parliament edom kese no ama
na enam so ema setena ne ekoso masebedwo fie ne tu sen ye na dom kuma ne sei se probi abo mo sobo a yemfa sobo no embodom kese
yebedi nkomo nene nkomo be ne mbedi mo kaya bandada MPP abanya etwam no wo ne hye bi buy gold for oil na se Ghana ye form agudie gold no ye de kwabrochi a na yakoje fango abanhofra bai wo mo se wo twa sanhye mu yebedi eho nkomo
we ye ne nsem dodo na no na nwumire yi obeti ewo kasebo mu kasebo na chi no ekomo twetwe ebeba se na difara o chirichiri mu ede echire mu no akenkanfo eyemme Sadat Mohammed mene
David Ofori Safo yebodra ensem no emo ene ewo Jubilee House no Ghana mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama aswafa hodua onombedi djuma ewo na abem no ene emu edunson ode tumi ahyom nsa wo mo hye djumadi ase.
Let me take this opportunity to remind you all that in the coming days, as promised in our 120-day plan, I'll be outdooring a code of conduct and standards for all government officials to guide the conduct of all our appointees. This will leave you no doubt about what you can do and what you cannot do while serving in public office. You must make this code of conduct your guide and keep it like a Bible by your bedside before you take any action. I made a solemn pledge in our Resetting Ghana manifesto to lead by example and to serve with dedication, selflessness, and deep love for country. I intend to fully keep that pledge to the people of Ghana. And my biblical instruction. Therefore, as ye go forth into your new roles, remember once again that our ministry as a government is not to dispossess the people we govern of their dignity, their livelihoods and opportunities. Ours is rather a duty to reset our country and ensure the equitable distribution of the gains of progress and prosperity to all. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.
We also wish to assure His Excellency the President, the Vice President, senior government officials that we shall attend upon our duties with the highest sense of integrity, with modesty, as President Mahama exemplifies. As the President has charged us, we shall at all times make sure that in our service to the country, we protect the public purse, that we are mindful that the assets we are going to preside over do not belong to us, but they belong to the people of Ghana. At no point will we seek to annex those assets to become our personal properties. We will always make sure that those assets are rather developed. We shall add value to those assets for the benefit of all Ghanaians. We will continue to serve and make sure that we meet the high expectations of the people so that we can create prosperity, create wealth, and create opportunities for all Ghanaians. We shall serve everybody, not only members of our party or members of our family. We will render diligent service to all Ghanaians, irrespective of where they come from, their background, or their political ideologies.
Na Bram Rasebejafo anasa aswafo yi na wudi nse na wodwumadi frase no na President John Dramani Mahama de to nanim se wo bai wonhwe hu ni se o my Ghana ye mfoto na se yensika no obedwene ho na wabɔ ho ban utu kwan anya sabre na akɔfa first class ana se wo yo aswafo nti na kyese oninam kuruma kaka bensem o se na ban no enya de obeseso sa suban no so.
I must however remind you of the same caution I sounded to your colleagues who have already taken office that the hallmark of this government will be modesty and respect for the Ghanaian people. There will be no room for arrogance and pomposity in this government. The resources that you'll be working with belong to the Ghanaian people who put us in office. Those resources are not to be wasted on opulence and extravagance. I've asked the Chief of Staff to write to all government appointees that I've imposed a ban on non-essential travel forthwith to cut down expenditure. Any travel that is deemed essential and necessary must be cleared first with the Office of the Chief of Staff. And such travels will have to be undertaken in modesty, no first class. Also, all traces of affluence and lavish lifestyle are to be avoided. The people of Ghana are enduring difficult times occasioned by hardships resulting from the economic mismanagement of the last 8 years. And ours is to work to lift them out of this hole, not to compound it further. On Monday, I'll be receiving the report of the committee I set up to prepare the way for the implementation of Operation Recover All the Loot, oral. Upon receipt of this report, appropriate action will be taken against those who are deemed to have acted against the economic and financial interests of this country through corruption and related acts. While it is all well and good to hold past office holders accountable for their actions, it is even better to prevent the incidence of corruption in the first place. And as I've already indicated many times, I'll be holding all my appointees in this government to the strictest standards of accountability to ensure that the mandate and resources entrusted to us by the people of Ghana go only into working for them and improving their standards of living.
Yaremo eko mrashibidwam na edom kuma ewo mrashibidwam NPP MPs omubu afupa sanse se nkese ne mrashibidwafo kwasetena na omchese womkotena wa etwen dom kese NDC MPs womtwen womu ama.
I would want to say this for the records.
Government business to do. If they were serious with the numbers that they have, they would have been able to bring at least 91. If you are 183 plus independent making 187, it shouldn't be any difficulty at all bringing 91 into the chamber to commence business. This is a clear indication how weak the NDC majority are. This is a clear indication as how unserious they are with regards to the governance of this country. And that is why the Speaker had to adjourn the House, because they themselves were not serious. If they don't have the numbers, it's a constitutional matter. If they don't have the numbers, it is stated in the Constitution in Article 102 that you need to have 91 for you to commence business. That is the quorum to commence business. When it comes to decision, you need to have at least 138 or 139 to take a decision. If we observe that they don't have, that means that they are not ready to do any business. It will not be our call.
Security Chief Whip no kade ebinimo committees kade worry say vetting committee one inquiries so say and members almost 9 what name. There's other committees are not paying a warrior committee meeting and no one way. Inti time na yeshasen na manana some of them committees in the way we worry about. Inti weapon of repair do be ambra. I mean mudu wompona obiara the very few people know. But obey. But one day here bana we raise the quorum issue na. Iwe ne ye do habor. One day here bana number no boso 130 and I was started the moment there a creature na ho catch one crofunda wonko won fi wantin year ba na one worry fi ho just there we make one point there quorum no one so but nkanyimpa na nka ye wo on ground okay na ground zero on na what na cafeteria and one na wo hallway and one na wo bo timing when you na wo baka ho nka yebodu quorum na nka nde edwuma ye beyen wakonenim. But oftentimes why there, it's for me, I'm sad and a little bit disappointed kakra, because na kamudwinde abana Ghana for 2 million na euphoria obi an nyagen na nka abana adwuma de nka be no wano na ya serious kakra. But in the last month hwasamosi ekwan wokokwen eyisi na yede na etim na kam na yemde na chede why there Munda yen serious.
Vetting committee na sitena mu no mentemo ase yi nitino amampenifo apaw ad hoc committee oye vetting committee no mentemo ase no mu ehwehwemu na onumanyamfo Emmanuel Kwasi Bezra and ad hoc committee no wada no setena ni na opanyini ya na domkuma no ba no dani onumanyamfo Alexander Afenyo marking se bo no so bo se adwuma no wo so entebeya empenifo nsesa no.
Mr. Speaker said without any equivocation that the committee's hearing must not be a matter for public debate. The video is there, I've procured it, and members can play it. Mr. Speaker also went further to say that there are things that are known to us as MPs, some words that we use that are best understood by us, the public may not appreciate it. Mr. Speaker, we were of the view that in view of Mr. Speaker's absence from the jurisdiction, we should engage with the Speaker on this matter. The majority leader and I agreed and discussed with the chair of the committee that he should put his deliberations on ice. Mr. Speaker will come today, Friday, and when he comes, we would meet Mr. Speaker so that we discuss the way forward. Mr. Speaker, let me say this. It's very regrettable that the chair of the committee, who is supposed to be a neutral referee, has granted no less than 6 interviews to the media, casting aspersions against my person, attacking my personality and the minority, pronouncing guilt and all. If we as parliamentarians are talking about collective peace, then each one of us must keep to the side of the bargain. I have written a memo to Mr. Speaker as part of the due process that I want to follow, but it is unacceptable that there will be live telecasts of events that Mr. Speaker has directed that it shouldn't be a public hearing. And I emphasize this because those were the orders of Mr. Speaker. The audiovisual can be procured. I procured it. We can check it. That is exactly what Mr. Speaker says. So I don't understand why there is this public hearing where witnesses are being invited. People are saying all manner of things. I've restrained my side because I want to respect Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, I want the public to know that what is happening by the chair of the committee is being done in bad faith. That is not how a neutral referee is supposed to behave. Enough of the insults, the attacks, the aspersions, and the castigation. When we don't even know the outcome. He was on radio saying that the minority is guilty. Guilty of what? Guilty of what? We would all tell our story. The threat to our lives, where people were elbowing us on the stairs, where people who are not MPs were part of the struggle in that room. Who brought them there? We all want peace. If indeed we are putting the matter to a peaceful rest, then in the national interest, let's all retreat and conduct ourselves as such.
Egusa wo mrashe bidwam na edom kuma wo mrashe bidwam no wo mo akache finance minister munyamfo Castle Ato Forson se wo mrashe bidwam na omeni hu ano emfa ekwan a aban no afaso afa munyamfo Dr. Johnson esiama se no na me governor Emma Bank of Ghana sanse Dr. Johnson esiama no ne ho ewon kekawa.
Mr. Speaker, first, we expect that the Minister of Finance will come to this House next week to brief us on this issue of a nominee of the President going to the Central Bank, parading himself as a governor, when in the letter nominating him, Mr. President himself has said that it is subject to the consultation process required of the yet to be constituted Council of State. This is a constitutional bona fide which nobody in the Republic can do away with. So we want the Minister of Finance to brief this House on how the matter is being managed. In fact, the minority, as responsible as it is, has written to Mr. President. We have not received a response yet that the Minister of Finance, if he is programmed to appear before us, can help us to understand what is really happening at the central bank. Mr. Speaker, if leader of government business can push for this on Tuesday, it will help the nation. This is about the economy, and if international partners are not too sure who is heading the central bank. We are aware that the governor, Dr. Addison, is on leave prior to retirement. There are 2 deputies. We are aware that one of the deputies has resigned and is left with 1 deputy. So in terms of the hierarchy, there is no set vacuum to result in a nominee rushing to the place with the media, because a deputy can act as the acting governor pending the Council of State, receiving the letter from Mr. President and deliberating upon it and all that.
Ningo pram adehye ana wonu demu wo suyi o tirim sese bi mpredua sa wonya ba bi nye wo huye wonya ba bi nya wonan nti aba meboa na ompaja na bia ma wo
onwase bomi anga afa pe lo wahia nu koto ma lo assembly ma ko ne ba eba onwase bomi ne ehane da ochio wa pe communal labor na wonya se no ehikla wa da sipio nga wonya no wa nga be wa we fineji fi draw me chapi no bi lo wa hianu go man no ya mi ketu ejomi na ba pe toilet ya wo no wa he ne jowo
keje na no wo no nya akepe tiafi ama wo tiafi kezankulu ba kusi nya wo nya wa he chowe nga mami lo wa pa ma pe lo koto ma me pe aye ka bua wo ne ka tiafi tu ama na gbanya me na hani mami kula nga fujeye wa nga hiwa iwo wa bibe nga hiwa iwo lo wa pa na lo koto ma me pe ka sembre ma hu pe aye ka bua ne dasi ala lo koto ma ne dasi na adrama se ma heni wa ya wa ma enga sigbeye wa panye pe wa we lo koto ma me na nga mami aye ka bua wo se heni no go ma nga pe ke ya no enya wa
de ekosu wa hani de enye kra Trese ube free chrome se bia uba beji inframa papa e wa ha ni nyina da ni inframa boni emu bia ni ho a eye inframa papa e wa ha ni se iti yesere ye mpanifo no na enu nkire se bia ama mpani free baby o free no mra no masiesie maye ya sebre man no eni DC no omu eni nkrofo a ye hwe se omu beboa yen na ya hwe MP nani ahim ye krom han mi se ahimfo no mu na ye hwe se omu be hwe na saa niama ye koso basabasa na e wa han mi se nu tu betwa amaye let ani sebi obola aha enye hwiam kra
o hwe bible mu a otimu se nyankopon kra no ompefi ono ye obi obe den ono ye papa ono obewu ya obeji nyina ye nkwa se ye papa no ompefi a na ye ne mba no mu de adentina se ye tenase na ye hu BBC ansa na ye betimi aye bibi so far as I'm a citizen of Ghana, so far as nyankopon ehira me your right say me community ana Ghana baby a efin bia me kuma better chi say me ye bibi no yes me ye because ehun hia enye say this my train am a president bia be mami order ana minister bia be mami order ana assemblyman bia be mami order so far as nyankopon me ye ne ba no wan mami nyansa wan mami enidie wan mami sika wan mami bibia wodin bia ene nyansa ne de me sumetimi aya boa me man e na wiase nyina no se ne be ya nkola no so be sua ade ɛne na me so meyɛ no
masun kan wa wo no nya hio echo lo ma de ngota na kasro na wa ma ye keboa na wa ma rally gbe no wa de ke wa ma hio drami na wa pe hio clean up kan be na jukun ke wa de teacher jugwe no me amaye keboa ho lo neni naji nene hiu esapem lo ma bomode de ma ka hewo kan kepe abepo emuni ye hio ma na ye hio adeke a chop a mami cry.
Arie kasebonesi say ne kwan mu atene David ofori safo ene empenfo besin konwa na wadi Ghana nkomo enyi wa fide ne mfiri ha yetwe ho abasisi ya